There's almost always something interesting blooming in the rock garden, and right now we have a few plants that are really showing off. The first of these is the myrtle spurge, or Euphorbia mercenites, and this plant has evergreen blue-green foliage, and it looks magnificent all year. It just has this wonderful spiky architecture, a magnificent appearance. And right now the plants are blooming, and the flowers themselves are actually rather inconspicuous. They're tucked away though inside of these chartreuse bracts that really put on quite a show. The plant grows fairly low, only about a foot high, but it spreads a bit, about 2 feet, and it really looks best when you plant them in masses like we have throughout the rock garden here. Now, the plant can reproduce by seed, and so you want to keep an eye on it and pull up any seedlings that get out of the garden. You also want to be careful when you handle it, because like all euphorbias, it exudes this milky sap, and that can irritate the skin. So myrtle spurge is very drought tolerant, and it's a wonderful rock garden plant, and also for other locations in Oklahoma where your conditions are dry. Right next to it we have creeping phlox, Phlox subulata, and this is another great rock garden plant, very low growing ground cover, and in the spring it is just covered with blossoms. This plant looks fabulous spilling over a wall, or again just used as a ground cover, and it is certainly one that you want to plant in great masses where it can make quite a powerful statement. Bulbs are also wonderful additions in the rock garden, and when you're selecting bulbs for the rock garden specifically, you want to look for dwarf cultivars, and you want to look for bulbs that are going to bloom at different times during the year. We have one here that's really been catching my eye. It is a daffodil called Peasant's Eye Narcissus, or Poet's Narcissus, and it's one of the last daffodils to bloom in the spring, and it has these pure white petals. And what's really interesting is the eye. It has a yellow center with a little red fringed rim. It's truly a remarkable bulb. Another plant showing off in our rock garden is this ground cover candy tuft, or Iberis sempervirens. And it has evergreen foliage, and in the spring it's just completely covered with these white blooms, putting on quite a show. The plant itself is fairly low growing. It grows to about a foot. It'll spread about 3 feet, and it makes a wonderful ground cover. Again, you want to plant it in large masses. Now, with all these rock garden plants that we've looked at today, they're very well suited to dry conditions, and that makes them very useful for planting in the Oklahoma landscape. One thing you want to watch out for though, once they're established, they can actually get too much water. So put them in that dry, difficult to grow location in your garden.
We hope you've enjoyed this classic from the Oklahoma Gardening Vault. Remember, even though these tips and techniques are timeless, there's always something new to learn in the world of gardening. By subscribing to both Oklahoma Gardening and OK Gardening Classics, you'll have access to a wealth of gardening knowledge, both classic and contemporary.